Okay, if I look weird, I'm gonna come after you.
Okay, you guys. Hello.
Hola.
We are the puzzle couple. And this is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to try to answer a couple questions that I've gotten about the trade that I went to, the swap. One of the questions I got, and I'm reading from a piece of paper, so if I look down, it's mostly me just making sure that I cover everything that...
Because we usually don't do this.
We don't. No, we usually...
So we don't have to read things most of the time.
Yeah, but we definitely this time want to make sure that everything got covered because a lot of people are asking about the swap and how it worked. This was my very first swap, so I'm going to tell you guys what I saw, and some of at the end I'll just say some of the things that I would have done differently for me going in next time, because there will be a next time. We just need to collect all the puzzles that we're going to swap again. So okay, so how did I find this giant swap? I actually was on the meetup.
The puzzle swap.
Yeah, sorry.
It's not just a giant swap. You couldn't just go in there and swap anything.
No.
It's just puzzles. That's it. Puzzles is it.
I knew you were here.
For something.
For something.
Yeah.
So this is the giant puzzle swap that I went to. Now I do smaller swaps with people that I know, but this I actually collected puzzles for a couple months just to do this trade, and even in like the couple of months I only had 20 to swap. But I found this group on the Meetup app. I don't know how to really describe the Meetup app. How would you describe
Just
it?
go to Google Play or to Apple, whatever the Apple one is. I don't know what that is.
I don't know either.
So Apple or Google, and you just get the app, the Meetup app.
It's
so
it's a
look
social.
For it, it's a social app. So it
Yeah.
pretty much, I mean, if almost any kind of group you're looking for, it's going to be on there.
Any type of group.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for like a yoga group, a hiking group, any kind of group that you want to meet people at, it's wonderful. So I went on that app and I found a puzzle group, and through that there's quite a few puzzle groups, but the ones that I were looking for was puzzle groups that do swaps. So it'll give you a chance to look in your location or state, because it's not really very close to us. So I would say probably within the state.
Mm-hmm.
And see what you can find with the puzzle groups. I also did Instagram puzzle groups, and if you write Instagram puzzle swaps, they have tons of swaps. Most of them are in other states. So hopefully it'll be a state that you, the viewer, is looking at, or even your country or your area. Hopefully it's in your location, but they're not in ours. I'm doing really bad. It's because I'm nervous.
I know. You're doing just fine. Just look on Instagram, you'll find puzzle swaps. Maybe they'll work out for you, maybe they won't. That's pretty much it.
He's summing it up. Okay, and then I did do a search for a puzzle group just on Google, and I did see one that was international. So I guess what they do is you post the pictures of the puzzles you want to trade. I didn't like that one because you are paying for postage, and the rules are a little bit more strict. So if somebody likes the puzzle you are trading, They want it to be the same brand, the same number of puzzle pieces. Whereas the one that I went to, this meetup swap, puzzle swap, people,
This is whatever you want.
yeah, they looked at whatever they wanted. They said, oh, you have a 300 that I want, but I don't really have 300s. Are you okay with 500s or 1000s? And, you know, I was fine with anything. I think only once someone told me they didn't have a 300 and they wanted a 300 that I had. And I told them to go ahead and take it just because I had already traded quite a few. So I had a good number of puzzles. So I went ahead and said, yeah, go ahead and take it. And then let's see, did people decide how many to swap? That was a question that I got. It was the same concept as take one, leave one. So people will come up to you and they'll ask if you would be interested in a swap. They tell you which one they like. I told them to go ahead and take it because I knew that I was gonna find something new that I would like. I was told, like, I did venture out and I did find a couple that I liked, but one of the times the trader was not interested in what I had, so that was like a no-go trade for between us. If you like a puzzle but they're not interested in a trade, you can ask them how much they're willing to sell the puzzle for. So everybody goes in knowing that if there's not a trade, you can
buy it.
Yeah, buy it.
Yeah.
So bring money if you do this.
If you want to.
If you want to, because I didn't bring very much money with me, and there was a couple puzzles that I kind of wish I have just bought. Yeah. But bring money, you guys. So always ask if they're not interested in a trade, how much you're willing to sell for. There was a blanket for any of the trades that are people who had puzzles that didn't want to trade them. You can donate them to the blanket, and it's a free-for-all. They're absolutely free. I took a couple, I left a couple, but I did notice that blanket didn't have the same stringent rules as the rest of the trade had. So people were leaving puzzles with missing pieces on that table or that blanket. And I did pick up a few that might be missing. I'm not really sure, but they were pretty puzzles, so I wanted to try it. And I also picked up one off of that blanket that was in the wrong box. So I have already kind of discussed that with, if you guys watched the other video. The puzzles that aren't picked up at the end of the night go to community homes, libraries, and schools. So I don't know how they divide that up, but if you are planning on being the host of one of these, it's definitely up to you how you would want to do that, or just maybe don't have a blanket if you don't want that responsibility. But I personally think that blanket is really loved. I think because we were parked right across from it, I saw a lot of people who brought their kids, and the kids would go to that blanket and parents would let them pick out a puzzle. So I think that it's a really nice little touch to the whole swap community. So you guys definitely just have that in mind. And then the puzzles for trade, each car that was parked had their own little table with their puzzles, and the puzzle pieces had, like, the ones that are being traded had to have like no missing pieces. The pieces had to be in Ziploc bags. And what I noticed is some people had stamps that went on little sticky notes, and then the sticky notes were just kind of stuck on the puzzles that said verified complete or missing pieces. And if it was verified complete, then they would just scribble out the missing pieces. If it had missing pieces, then they would highlight the missing pieces portion and scribble out the verified complete, which I thought was a really great idea, and I kind of wish we had that stamp. But
maybe someday.
Yeah, this is my first one, so I picked up a lot of like tips tips from the experts. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I did notice that a lot of people brought 2 to 3 people to man their little section. So while one person was manning the table, the other 2 people would go out and look at other puzzles. One lady gave me a little sticky note that said good for 1 trade, and she had me go to her car, and her husband was there, and he loved it. He was like, oh, that was such a great idea on her end to let me know how many puzzles I'm trading for. So that was really neat. So maybe if we do it, we could bring sticky notes, and we'll try that out to ourselves.
Why not?
Let's see. People brought tables and blankets to set their puzzles on. I only brought a blanket, but next time I go, I'm probably going to take a table, because tables are just nicer. And I don't really know how many people bent down to look at puzzles that were on the ground. I feel like people took more time to look at the puzzles that were on tables or in the back of the trunk of cars. So they had that really nicely figured out. Mine, I tried to lay them out really nice, but again, it was on the ground, so I don't know if I would have had more viewers if I had done that. People had sticky notes with their names on them on the puzzles themselves. So during the trade, people could either go back from the name to the name that was on the car. So people had big posters taped to the open hood of their car that had the name of, their name. So that's how people found each other as well. People would also just say what color car they were in, how many people were manning their tables. If their tables had tablecloths, they would say, oh, I'm the checkered tablecloth, second row all the way down. There were, I kid you not, this row of cars on both ends were just all the way down. So it was down.
All the way down. How far is all the way down?
It was pretty far.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm going to say that there were at least like 40 to 50 cars.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, there were a lot of cars.
Okay.
With a lot of people. And then there were people that were parked kind of blocking the way in. So, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not making sense, am I?
No, you're doing just fine.
Whew.
I was just trying to get you to kind of
elaborate,
expand on it, because all the way down, what does that mean? I don't know. I don't think anybody else does.
Let's see. So how people were doing this, I believe the host of this little pop-up maybe they got permission, maybe not, but they found empty parking lots. So I think they generally do like school parking lots or parking lots that are kind of tucked away from everything, because when we drove in, there was a bank on one side and a what would you call, like Walgreens, CVS, like
a drugstore.
A drugstore on the right. And we thought, where did we turn into? Because we didn't see any puzzlers. It was further back, so we had to keep driving further back in this parking lot because it was pretty much covered by the buildings. But in the back, it was set up. So it's usually, I think, about an hour and a half that the meeting point is for. People got there pretty early, so next time I go, I think that we're gonna have to leave earlier just so that we can park, because we were driving when we were parking. The cars were already set up with their tables in front of them, which made the driving pretty narrow. And then when we were trying to park in, people had to pull their tables out of the way for us to just kind of scoot into our little space. So I didn't take it. I took a few pictures, but I didn't take a lot just because I probably should have. I should have taken a picture of at least our area.
Maybe.
But I didn't, because I feel kind of weird taking pictures of people who maybe didn't agree to having photos. So that's why I didn't post any photos of it. But I sent him a photo. I said, oh my gosh, look at all these people.
It did look like a lot.
It was a lot. Things that I would do differently, I would definitely mark my puzzles as complete, because they all had all their pieces in. So I think that they would have gotten picked up a lot quicker if I had actually marked them as verified complete. I would get there earlier. I would bring cash for the puzzles that people didn't want to trade, because there were people there that were selling puzzles. And then there were people there that if they didn't like your trade, they would have sold their puzzles. So I would have done that. I would have brought in a table, and I would have made a sign for my car with my name on it, so that if I went and saw people way, way, way down the way, I could say, hey, look for the car marked Michelle. But there were a few people named Michelle there, so
You might have to put, your full name or something.
My full name or the puzzle couple.
Oh, there we go, yeah.
They had somebody there that had badges, a table of just badges, and it was so nice. They were printed out for, that said, the puzzle swap name on it, and then the badge name, and then it came with a lanyard. So I kept mine for next time, but yeah, and people decorated it with all sorts of pins, and it was really good. So, and I found the people there really friendly. So these are just a couple things that I would have done, and if you guys have already done this before and you have more advice, please feel free to give it below.
Comment.
Yeah, comment and just give us a heads up.
Yeah.
If you have more questions, give it to me, and I will see if I can find the host of these swaps to ask her how exactly she did it, for the few people who are looking to do this themselves. I would say you can make a meetup group on the Meetup app and just put in your location and all the rules that you would like to have followed. And definitely let us know your journey down below, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.